my sweeties. This is your host, Mimi Hime, and welcome to Oh My Anime Podcast. Today's topic is picking up, dropping, and binging anime. So often people ask me how I decide I'm going to pick up a show. Well, to be honest, it's kind of complicated. Well, in a not complicated way. First, I usually just scroll through my anime list. I look at all of the shows that are scheduled to come out for the season, and I pick the shows that catch my eye. Usually, it has everything to do with animation quality. Do I like the cover? Do I like the characters? Do I see a potential husbando or waifu? And usually, I'll pick up shows from there. Obviously, I pick up continuations like sequels or continuations to shows I've already been watching. And then honestly, from there, I pick up shows throughout the season. So, what I'll typically do is I'll start off with my normal set of usually about 5 to 8 shows per season. And then I have a few friends who obviously watch anime as well. So, if they pick up a show that didn't catch my eye or I didn't think I'd be interested in it, but they're either trolling me or it's actually a good show, they'll recommend it to me, and then I try to pick it up as soon as possible because I want to watch it with them. I want to experience it with them. I want to react to each episode with them. So I will essentially binge up to whatever point in the season that they've finally told me about the show. Sometimes, though, I will pick up a show based off of not word of mouth from my friends. So, say I just missed a show. It flew under my radar because it didn't really match my interests, but it's, the hidden gem of the season, or it's just, a popular show that I wouldn't have normally picked up, but just so that I can talk about it, I'll pick it up. So then that sort of leads on to when I decide a show is worth binging. It happens. There are sometimes I pick up a show and I really want to be interested in it. I'm either interested in the characters or I'm interested in the plot or I might just be interested in the visuals. That happens sometimes too. But it's too boring. The pacing is off, or maybe there's a character that really just irks me. Um, that's usually how I decide to binge a show. So when I binge a show, it obviously means I wait until the end of the season. I usually try to wait till that 1 week grace period between seasons, and I will binge the show as fast as feasibly possible given my current schedule. And I pretty much just go from there. Sometimes throughout a season, say I have like a few days in the week where I don't have any new shows coming out, sometimes shows can get binged then too. So, for instance, during the fall 2020 season, all of my shows pretty much came out on like Friday and Saturday. So I pretty much had the rest of the week off to watch whatever I wanted. So I was able to binge a few things during the fall 2020 season that I hadn't been able to watch earlier in the year. So I was able to catch up on the Misfit of Demon King Academy. I caught up on the second season of Kaguya-sama Love is War. I was able to catch up on those shows, and I mean, those only took me 2 or 3 days to binge through. Then there were other shows like Talentless Nana that I picked up late. I think I was maybe 5 weeks behind, and I was able to pretty quickly catch up with that. So that's pretty much how I normally binge shows. Otherwise, during that 1 week grace period or during my sort of off days of watching airing shows, I will go through my backlog. My backlog is horrendously long. I don't really like to talk about it, but yeah, I have a lot of backlog of anime, either from, when I was much younger and they're classics that I just haven't gotten around to watching because I've been too busy with airing shows or life is just that chaotic. Or I might decide to binge a show with a friend. So if my friend and I have common shows that we want to watch together or that we both really want to watch but we haven't had the time to watch it, so by sort of having a watch buddy, we can binge it together, and it holds each other accountable to, watching anime and wasting our time doing that. So that's really how I decide on binging shows. Now, the more controversial thing is, how do I decide to put a show on hold, and when do I decide to drop a show? Do I ever pick up shows that I've dropped? How long does it really take me to pick up shows that I put on hold? And honestly, that's all one big giant gray area. So I'm kind of looking over my on hold list right now and my dropped list. And I'm referring to my on hold list and my dropped list on Mal, by the way. I do have a Mal. It is under Mimi Hime as well. So if you're looking for it, check it out. I pretty much keep track of all of my airing shows that I'm watching, on hold, dropped. My Mal is perfectly up to date. So if you're ever curious as to what I'm doing with my time, you can always check that out. It's entirely up to date, even with my scores and everything. So definitely check that out. But I'm looking at my on hold list right now, and I currently have 15 shows on it. And I'm going to be honest, some of these shows I'm definitely very slowly going through. Like Kuroko no Basket, the 3rd season, I'm only like 5 episodes into that. I think I binged through the 1st and 2nd season like last summer, and I started the 3rd season, and then I just never got around to finishing it. So I think that definitely counts as being on hold. But some of these shows, I started the season, the pacing was super slow, and then for some reason I didn't binge them at the end of their season. Will I pick them back up? Yes. When exactly? I'm not sure, because they definitely don't have priority. I have definitely picked up countless shows between when some of these shows got added to my on hold list versus things I've added in my backlog. So it's definitely very fickle. I'm not like some of my friends who have like randomizers that pick their next show from their backlog that they're going to watch. I definitely do it entirely based off of what I'm in the mood to watch, how many episodes I have left, how into it I was, things like that. So yeah, and then let's see, how many shows do I have on my dropped? It looks like I have dropped 15 shows. Wow, I thought I had dropped far less than that, but now that I'm looking, okay, so I'm not that bad. Some of these shows were just atrociously bad, and even though I have a pretty high tolerance for trash, I guess these shows were just either the pacing was just that bad, or the premise was just so cringy that I couldn't handle it. So it looks like some of the shows I have up here are Hatsukoi Monster, which, if you don't know about Hatsukoi Monster, it's literally this show about this college girl who like goes off to college, and she goes to this dorm and she falls in love with this guy like right away because he saves her life, and you end up finding out this guy is 10. I kid you not. He looks like a full grown college kid, and mind you, she looks like an elementary like school student. But anyway, she wants this like 10-year-old to date her, and like this 10-year-old and his like 2 or 3 best friends, they also look like college students, but they're only 10. And mind you, it's not like all 10-year-olds in the show look like, full Bishonen hot guys. It's just like these 3 that are like mutant giant beautiful boys, but they're 10. And I got 2 episodes in. Honestly, that was probably too much. But it was too cringy. I couldn't handle it. What else is on my dropped list? It was Dance with Devils, which I think I only got 2 episodes in, but it was like a vampire love story opera musical. I don't know what was going on there. Maybe if I have a few drinks in me one day, I can troll myself through watching the rest of it. I'll definitely update you guys on that. Other things up here that I dropped, far further along, I dropped Log Horizon 2nd season. However, given that this current season, winter 2021, has started and Log Horizon, the 3rd season, is starting, I might have to push through the next 15 episodes. I watched 10 episodes of the second season before I just gave up because I was getting bored to death of Log Horizon second season. I felt like my eyes were bleeding. So, but I also feel like I couldn't live with myself if I just jumped into the third season and tried to pretend like the second season didn't exist. I feel like I just have to push through the second season. So even though that's currently on my dropped list, I will probably be binge watching that this weekend. That's probably what's going to happen. So that way I can jump into the third season and pray to God that the pacing gets better because the first season of Log Horizon was just so good, and the second season just dropped the ball. But I don't know, my hopes aren't too high because Studio Dean is still in charge of it, and they were in charge of the second season. So I don't know. I don't read the manga, so maybe we're just gonna get into a more exciting arc, and the pacing will fix itself. Who knows? A controversial drop that I know I have here is ReZero. Now, before you guys bite off my head for dropping ReZero, it's because I am super squeamish. Super duper squeamish. It is really hard for me to watch shows that have a lot of like gore and body mutilation. I have exceptions. Like, I can watch Attack on Titan, and I eventually made my way through Elfen Lied, but I don't go out of my way to watch things that have like a lot of blood and gore in it. And ReZero was just that to the max. And spoiler alert for some of you who might not have seen season one, but there's this like one scene with Rim, the like blue haired maid, and her body is like getting twisted and contorted, and it is just disgusting. I couldn't handle it, and I pretty much dropped the show right after that. One of my friends could probably talk me into starting it up again, but oh no, also I remember I hated Subaru. I could not stand his like character. I know he's supposed to be like this hyper realistic version of what like a real person or how a real person would react in these instances, but Subaru has got to be one of like my top 5 least liked main characters in a show. So ReZero got dropped. I'm not going to go into like a whole lot of detail on everything else because like I said, there are 15 shows up here, but I also dropped Shinsekai Yori. I had watched 10 episodes of that. I think that was because of pacing. Yeah, most of the other shows up here were because of pacing. Psycho Pass 2, the season 2, that got dropped because I felt like it was a copy pasta of the first season. I only got 4 episodes in out of the 11 episodes. So maybe I'll give it a try again one day since there's not a ton of episodes. But oh my gosh, I couldn't handle like the copy pasta plot. It was just a no-go for me. And then also Boruto, I got 67 episodes into Boruto before I dropped it because I was like, this is just ridiculous. Naruto is carrying Boruto, and you know what? I'm not even gonna go into this rant right now because that's gonna be a completely different episode. So, if I kind of went on a total tangent there, but essentially, long story short, I drop shows if there's an extreme pacing issue, if they're super cringy. I put things on hold if I really think that I can watch them, but I think I need to binge them. And I do have a lot of shows on my plan to watch. So those are the shows that I just didn't get to. I didn't start them. It doesn't necessarily mean that I'll binge them when I do decide to watch them. It's a high likelihood if they've already aired because I like to get shows out of the way pretty quickly because since I have so many shows. The plan to watch on my mount also includes like plan to watch shows of series that haven't come out yet. So my plan to watch is a little bit bloated, but it is also sort of my backlog. So, that's great. So really, I think all that really leaves is nope. I think that's everything. I've talked about how I pick up shows, when I binge shows, why I put them on hold, and why I drop them. And, that's about it. I'm not trying to keep this too long That is it for me today, sweeties. Remember to do something randomly sweet today. And thank you for listening, and I can't wait to see you during the next episode. Bye bye.